Former President Thabo Mbeki met with President Cyril Ramaphosa at his house in Johannesburg after he was elected as president of the ANC last year. President Ramaphosa promised to reach out to the former leader who had been sidelined by the former President Jacob Zuma's NEC. Whilst Mbeki and Zuma met on a few occasions at different events, the two never really found time to interact with each other in private. To discuss more on this issue, we're now joined in studio by ANC NEC member Zizi Kodwa. Thanks very much for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Good evening.
How relaxed is your life now without the job of spokesperson?
Much more relaxed. I've got all the time to do with the family, what that is important for me.
Yeah, but busy with the NEC. So tell us about this meeting. What was it about?
Well, it was a very important meeting in the context of the resolutions of the 54th National Conference. Where the president, this is a long overdue meeting, a long outstanding meeting, but because of the sometimes back-to-back schedule of the president, he was not able to connect and meet with President Mbeki. President Mbeki is a child and remains the child of the ANC. He dedicated his entire life to the liberation and to the service of the people of this country. And therefore, his energy is important in the life of the African National Congress. If we are to see him now, it looks different, he looks younger, because he's much more energetic, and I think we need people like them, like him, to be part of the life of the African National Congress, because former leaders of the ANC occupy a special place. They are not just ordinary branch members who must wait for the branch general meeting to sit for them to make a contribution. The fact that they were former leaders of the ANC, and if we were to minus ANC from a CV of President Mbeki, I think his CV will just be a paragraph, because the entirety of his life has been about the ANC. He has occupied different positions, both internally and externally. And therefore it was important that, given some of the issues and the responsibility and the energy that he still has, that the president of the ANC currently, Comrade Ramaphosa, must brief the former president. From him, he will meet President Motlanthe. He'll also meet President Zuma at their residences, so that we craft a way within which they can be part of the overall life of the African National Congress.
What did they talk about?
Well, obviously, it's about issues of the African National Congress, the direction the country is taking, the resolution of the conference, and where the organization, the vision of the African National Congress under the face of Cyril Ramaphosa, where do we see the organization forward, in spite of the challenges in the recent challenges we've had. But there are promising prospects. There's positive optimism about the direction the country under the current leadership is taking. And therefore, the ANC must be all-inclusive organization. Nobody who's a member of the organization must feel outside of the organization. They've got a role to play, and therefore, under the leadership of Cyril, it's important to define that role of former leaders. I can give you an example. In the last NEC, which was held last weekend, President Motlanthe was invited as a guest to give an input to the NEC about a specific issue. That is the kind of a relationship we'll have with the former leaders.
What's caused this shift? A lot of the NEC members that are there now were NEC members before, and these former leaders seemed a little ostracized. What's changed?
Experience is the best teacher. Experience is the best teacher. It's important that to always look forward. And I think what is important is that for a period of time, I think there's an appreciation within the body called the National Executive Committee that we must open up the organization. If you're talking about gatekeeping, manipulation of membership, it must start with the NEC. Everybody who felt outside of the organization, being a member of the organization, let everybody be inside of the organization, participate in the organization. And therefore, it's part of this drive to open the organization to all its members and supporters, so that everybody must feel being part of the African National Congress to their participation. Right, but also appreciate the fact that some of them have got unique skills, and those unique skills is important that we utilize for the benefit of the country and for the benefit of the ANC.
Will we see Messieurs Mbeki, Motlanthe and Zuma campaigning for the ANC in the upcoming elections?
Elections or no elections, these are members of the ANC, disciplined, loyal to the organization. They don't need to be requested to participate. They have never in history of their lives, many of them, they've served the organization more than 30 years. They've never defied the organization whenever they're given a mandate. And therefore, as and when there are elections or we invite them to as guests to the NEC, they will always understand that they are at the service of the African National Congress and the service of this country.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed for bringing this to our attention, and we look forward to the next meetings. Thanks so much, Zizi Kodwa, and enjoy your time in a more relaxed atmosphere.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that's where we're going to say goodbye, isn't it, Palesa?
I'm here to join you guys.
This is
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I thought it was the morning when I saw you.
No, unfortunately not. It's the evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much indeed for having watched SA Today. We'll see you again tomorrow. You have yourself a fantastic evening.